Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. A quick summer garage update. What's in the garage, what's been happening to some of the cars, the plans for other cars, some cars that have been sold and now gone, and potentially new cars that could be added to this fleet. Let's get into it. So yes guys, it's been a while. In fact, the last garage update was December 2025, so good 6-7 months have elapsed. We've sold a few cars, we've added a couple of cars, and there have been many projects along the way, especially the RS 500, which I've kept you updated on, but there's some other stuff happening behind the scenes with some of the other cars. I'd like to update you, but it doesn't need an episode, so I'm going to cover it in today's episode. Now, one car which a lot of you have been asking for, and it's probably because the Sierra RS 500 is all I've been talking about recently on the channel, is my Escort cars. So a lot of you have been DMing me and actually sending comments on YouTube saying, can we have an update on the Escort? Well, I haven't done much, so I can't really feature a YouTube episode on a car that I've not done much to. Recently had this car out and took it to Southside Hustle, which is a sort of early Sunday morning cars and coffee meet in Wimbledon, South London. A lot of love, especially about the color, because people ask, is it actually an Escort original color? And yes, it is. It's a Relis blue factory color. This car's actually had a repaint at some point in its life, I think about 12, 13 years ago. All I've done, change the suspension, lower it a touch, put these 18-inch Cosworth style wheels on there. But recently, for Southside Hustle, in fact, I changed the stereo. I put a Kenwood mask unit in, and it's a slightly different mask unit, and got a lot of attention at Southside Hustle. But this car is actually going through the workshop in August for a retro audio upgrade. I'm going to be using a Pioneer head unit with a separate Pioneer DSP, changing the front speakers, rear speakers, and adding a sub and an amp. And this car will be sitting in the showroom probably in September. So if you want to have a closer look, come down September, visit the shop. Now, on the far side over here, 750IL, that's been covered on the channel already. Looks the absolute nuts on airlift performance management, Exlo struts, Alpino wheels. There's a link below in the description. But this is one of my latest projects, a 1990 registered Mercedes-Benz R129 500 SL, an early R129, but with a factory AMG body kit. As you can see, finished in red with that lovely sort of cream tan interior. Episode just gone out on the channel with my plans on this. So rather than me talking about it, there's a little link on the screen somewhere. Click on that, watch this episode afterwards, and I'll leave a link in the description below. That's going to be a fun project. This car's going to look absolutely amazing. On this side, my Series 1 Escort RS Turbo, now sitting on 17-inch diamond cut wheels. The center caps, they're not really matchy-matchy, so we're having to do some work behind the scenes. This car, along with the Renault 5 GT Turbo, which is currently sitting in the showroom, are going on the mezzanine floor in the showroom. And the two cars that are in the showroom on the mezz, the Mark II 16 valve GTI and the Pug 205, which has got the MI16 engine. Finally, after 5.5 years, plans are in progress to get those cars removed, taken down, and the two white cars, the Escort and the Renault 5, will be going up, I'm hoping by the end of August. So if you're coming in September to check out the Escort, you can also check out the Escort Series 1 and the Renault 5 on the mezzanine floor. Now, don't need to talk about cars here. 8 Series E31, lovely car, haven't really done much of that. E92 M3, we took this to Goodwood Festival of Speed as our sort of car that we commuted to from our Airbnb. It's got a problem now. I think Matt went a bit too aggressive because he's after an E92 M3, and I've got some error messages and warning messages on the screen, so that's going to get looked into now. Let's start in this corner. So E30 territory here. On that side there, if you spin the camera around, you'll see this is our E30 LTO. It's got an E36 M3 3-litre lump in there. This was on our stand at Goodwood Festival of Speed. It's the Slam Sanctuary car, branded up as you can see. Cool car, drives really well, but it's about these two proper E30 M3s, both finished in macabre blue, convertible and coupe. There's no point me asking you which one you prefer because you're all gonna say coupe, but the convertible nonetheless is a great car. Same engine, S14, 2.3 litre engine. This is the car that I had painted last year by Bob at Auto Body Technique, and there are quite a few episodes covering this car on the channel. Now that the RS 500 is coming towards the end of its project to a degree, I can jump back on this. We're going to change the roof. It hasn't got tears, but it's 30 years old. The mechanism isn't working correctly. The interior has already been addressed. The exterior paintwork's been done. Roof, as I said. Suspension wise, we're going to change it to, I think, KW suspension. The wheels need a refurb, needs an audio upgrade, needs security. And then this car will actually be going up for sale. It's gonna be a big number, guys. So if any of you are interested, E30 M3s, especially convertibles now, prices have shot up. In fact, there's one on the screen that's just gone up for sale. I know this car. It's with Hexagon Classics. They own the car. That car's not had a bare metal repaint, but it's a good car with slightly less miles. This has got 148,000 kilometers, so about 90,000 miles. That car at Hexagon is £110,000. This car is going to go up for sale somewhere around the 100k mark. So if you're interested, just drop me a DM, we can have a chat, and then I'll replace it with something else that I'm looking at. E30 M3 Coupe, don't really need to talk about this car. A lot of you have seen it at events, shows, in the showroom, BMW M-Power meets. However, I think it's time to change these wheels. I've got a set of 17-inch BBS RSs, which I'm going to test fit. I want to get away from this stretch rubber, which was a look when I did this car back in 2017, 2018. I want to move away from that, but great car, big Rockford boot install, S14 engine, carbon intake. Wow, what a car. And next to that, my 964 C2, finished in slate grey, the car that everyone always asks me about when we talk about Porsches, because this is what I'm really known for. For those of you that are new to the channel, in brief, bought this car, I think 12 years ago. The car had cancer on every panel. It was marine blue. Engine was shot blown. So over the course of 2 years, I had it completely repainted, bare metal repaint by Southern Bodies to slate grey, which is my choice of colour. Complete engine rebuild, top and bottom end by Milestone 71. Interior retrim, all new glass, new wings, new front bumpers, new lights, new rear bumper, new side skirts. You get the drift. A lot of money's gone into this car. Really do need to drive it more, so I'm going to get some content on this soon. Next to that, turbos, these two. While I'm out in the 993 turbo, people always confuse it with the Bad Boys turbo. And even if I post pictures on my social media or a reel, the Bad Boys turbo, it's not, guys. The 964 turbo is the Bad Boys turbo. So this is the predecessor. This is actually, now from memory, I think this is a 1993 car. 3.3 turbo, so it uses the turbo out of the 930 turbo, but it's highly modified. Probably about 360, 370 brake, bigger turbo, different exhaust, spools a little bit lower down. Fantastic car. Turbo lag, if you know about turbo lag, this car's got plenty of it, but that's what makes this car more fun and enjoyable to drive. It's always a bit of a drama. There's loads of theatre going on when you drive this car. So that is the Bad Boys car as you see in the first Bad Boys film, although they have a 3.6 turbo. This is the successor to this model. This is a 1995 993 turbo, 3.6 litre, but now twin turbo. Out the factory was 408 brake horsepower, and it certainly feels like that today. It's a quick car, KW variant 3 suspension, rotiform, 18-inch KLU wheels. This has got a Brook Race Engineering exhaust, which is a rear section only, like an X-pipe, and I think it's made out of Inconel. Sounds the absolute nuts. From factory, they're a little bit quiet, a little bit muted. That exhaust really opens the car up. And what we'll do at the end of this episode, so don't go, I'll warm some cars up, maybe this, the Ferrari, and maybe the GT2 RS, and we'll do some exhaust blips. This is probably the best car in my fleet. Everyone always asks, what's the best car? Which is the one you'd keep if you had to sell everything? This is the one. If this was a 3.6 turbo, then maybe this would be the one. But this is the one purely because it's old school. It's the last of the air-cooled turbos. It's the last air-cooled variant, the 993, 6-speed box from factory. The clutch is a little bit lighter, and it's that power, the torque is so linear. It's twin turbo, the noise. Values of 993 turbos have rocketed recently. I can't put my finger on why. They've always been great cars, and maybe it's because the American market's woken up to them, although this did go to America as well, so I don't know why. But they are currently now 250 grand all day long, 993 turbos. So great car, well worth the money. I love it. Best car in my fleet. And next to that, the 355. Actually, let me ask you a question. Now, some of you will say a Porsche 911 is not a supercar. Yeah, maybe today it's not considered a supercar, it's considered a sports car. But in the 90s, these two were the supercars of that era. Now, I think from memory, this is also a 1995 registered 355. Yes, it's manual, gated box. It's the only way to go. So the question is, 1995, 31 years ago, these two cars, supercars, 408 brake horsepower, 6-speed manual. I think this is about 380 brake horsepower. Which one would you go for? The 993 or the 355? Values are a little bit different now, but I think in period, they were very, very, very similar. Me personally, I'm choosing the 993. But if it was a different question, if I'd worded it differently, like which one would you like to take for a drive on a Sunday and really give the car some beans? I'd probably say the 355, purely because the manual box and the exhaust. This has got Capristo, Tubi and Lurini cat setup. And in fact, there's a little reel on the screen. This car spits flames. I just don't know how, but it does. And it sounds the absolute nuts. Sounds like an F1 car. So yeah, for that alone, this is the car I'll take out on a Sunday drive. But overall, as a package, the 993 Turbo is the one for me. I've digressed, but this car, it's come back recently from exotic and supercar. I had an issue with one of the sensors. I took one of the other cars. We'll talk about that in a moment. Since then, it's been driving fantastic. It's going into the workshop very soon for an audio upgrade. Suspension. You purists are going to hate me for this. This car's going on air ride. But it's not because I want to slam it and I want that stancy boy look. I like driving my cars a little bit lower. As you can see, there's a theme here. But the drawback with the 355s is if you drop them too low, the way I think it's the diff at the back sits, it's very low, very easy to damage. And obviously coilover suspension, then you can't really keep raising it and dropping it. So I'm going to use air to drive the car low, but when I need to raise it, speed hump and stuff like that, I can hit a button and it will raise. It'll be set up for fast road. There'll be no stancy boy tire setup going on here. There's no stretch rubber. In fact, the new wheels, let me show you the new wheels. Come. These are potentially the new wheels. They're 19s. They're made by Offset, supplied by SRR Hardware. They're an F40 inspired wheel, so it's an F40 center, and they're built up with new lips, new barrels, new hardware. These are the wheels that are potentially going in the car. So I'm going to test fit them in a week or two, and if it works and they look right, then the car will be going on airlift management, and we'll have Exlo struts, which are already in stock, ready to go. So that's going to be an exciting project. Let's get some color, you know. Bar black cars, we've got a red car. This is probably the brightest car in my fleet, a 997.1 meaning it's the first generation of the 997 GT3 model, finished in speed yellow, 2007 model car. I've had this car for about 7 years now. It's the car that I've always used as my go-to car when I go on tours. Scotland I've done twice, Wales I've done twice, Peak District I've done. So yeah, I've really used this car and enjoyed it, but it needed a bit of a refresh. So what we've done recently, and there's a separate episode going out on the main Cast TV YouTube channel, which will cover this, is change the suspension. We now got KW Variant 3 coilover suspension, but we've got a nose lift kit, HLS nose lift kit, which is the hydraulic lift system. And as you can see, we've changed the wheels. We've got a set of OZ Superleggera HLTs finished in this sort of silver finish. Love this car. I'm not going to say it's a forever car, but I love this car. But this is a forever car. My 2018 991 GT2 RS. When I bought this car last year in September, and as some of you have watched that video, you could see how excited I was to pick it up. That first drive I will never forget. This is stupid. This is naughty. It was raw, it was real. I didn't test drive the car. I knew of the car. I've driven one before, but I never driven it in anger. And because this was my car, I bought it, I drove it in anger, and I was just blown away. I was like a little kid at Christmas who opened these Christmas toys and, you know, it's a PlayStation. That's what it was like for me. It certainly is a pinch me moment. I still can't believe today that I actually own one. Previous owner had done just 1,200 miles in 7 years. In the 10 months I've owned it, I've done 800 miles. So by the time the year's up, I would have done probably the same amount of mileage he's done in 7 years. Took this car recently to Exotic and Supercar, and at the same time picked up the 355, and what a drive, what a noise, drama. So this car is 700 brake horsepower out of the box, and it's rear wheel drive. Again, another car where the prices have just gone through the roof. I think it was only a matter of time, and potentially is because there's talk of the new 992.2 GT3 RS being turbo powered. And because of that, I think a lot of people are going back to some of the more visceral analog cars, and this, although it's turbo powered, is very analog. I bought this car for just under £300,000, and the cheapest one online today is £500,000, £500,000. It just blows your mind, and there's some that are up for 540, 550. So wow, I think I got in at the right time. Amazing car. This is a keeper, along with the 993 Turbo. Along with one car that's missing, that's my E30 M3 CSL, recently serviced by the guys over at BMW Thames Ditton. Joe Courtney did a great job on that. BMW service history stamped up from day one. Another car I would never sell, that's not here, that's at home. And then this, my 992 GT3.2, purchased from Porsche Centre High Wycombe. There are two videos on the channel. One which covers the initial specification of the vehicle, and then there's a collection video. This is finished in slate grey, and it's a nod to my 964, which is hiding over there, which I showed you earlier on. What a great car. The only negative about this car is I don't like the digital dash. The instrument cluster has moved away from a mix of analog and digital to fully digital. But other than that, what a great car. Earlier on I mentioned the yellow 997 GT3 is my tour car. This has now become my tour car. Took this recently on a 2,200 mile trip from London, south of France, through Bordeaux, into northern Spain, into San Sebastian. What a car. Absolutely immense. And I've got to say, the roads in France are just amazing. The roads are super smooth, and also the road etiquette in France is totally different. People, when they overtake and they move back. I think that one of the biggest pet hates in the UK is people that just sit in a fast lane when there's space in the left lane. This car was sublime, didn't miss a beat. Love it, love this car. I spoke very fast because I didn't want this to be like a half-an-hour video. Now, some cars have been sold. Top of my head, 992 GT3 RS, that sold back in February. Threw that up. And within 24 hours, it was sold and paid for by Dream Car Giveaways. Great car, but I didn't gel with that car. It's a track-focused car. I'm not really a track guy. So that went. Shortly after that, I put my M3, my E46 M3 track car up for sale. Again, I wasn't using it. That went very quickly as well. And then our black R129 SL320, Palm put that up on social media, and his social media blew up. We could have sold that car 10, 15 times over. And then recently, I put up a post with my daily, which is a Porsche 996 Turbo S in manual. I've had that car for 2.5 years and sold like that. I had so many offers. That was up for 70 grand. It went for something very close to that. Again, I could have sold that 2 or 3 times over. Fantastic car, but I think it was time to move that on and to jump into something else. So that's 4 cars that have gone. Cars that are coming. I did mention when I sold the 996 Turbo S that I want another 996. So I'm still looking for a 996 GT3 RS, but it must have the blue livery, not the red livery. I've been offered 2. I'm in fact going to see one in a couple of weeks, the week after this video goes out, in fact. And hopefully, if it's right and the money's right, we might get a deal done. Still looking for an Integrale Evo 2. I've had some offered to me. I'd love a bit of a project car. In fact, if there's any project cars out there, you can see what I'm about. If there's any project cars out there which you think would fit the profile of what we do as a business and fits my garage, just send me a link or drop me a DM on Instagram or on Facebook. There's links below in the description and my Instagram details are on the screen. But yeah, so a few exciting projects here in the workshop. Audio projects, suspension and audio, and I know the purists are not gonna like what I'm doing with this. And the RS 500, a lot of comments, a lot of feedback. I love it, guys. Keep that feedback coming. You can see the car's come a long way. So the next episode will drop of the RS 500 in a week or 2, and it's a massive update from the previous episode. So really looking forward to that. I believe that car will be back with me hopefully by the end of August. So guys, I've covered a lot. I've spoken very quickly. There's some cars that I haven't covered. There's a lovely 500 SEC back there hiding, which we purchased recently, which we're going to try and do an OEM plus upgrade on. Now, don't go away, guys. Stick around because I think it's time to get some exhaust noises. So I'm going to warm up 3 cars and we'll do some exhaust noises. Don't go away. Right, so this is valves closed. So I can't say stock exhaust because it's all changed, but the valves closed. Sounds okay. 3.5 litre V8. And now, Capristo back box, tubey manifolds, Larini cats. There's a little remote control fob there. So if I press number 2, valves are open. Are you ready? Whoa! See what I mean by if you want to go out for a drive on a Sunday, this is the car you choose. A stock 993 is very muted, it doesn't sound like this. I think it detracts from the driving experience, and a lot of people actually say that the exhaust noise doesn't give the car the wow factor, but changing the exhaust to whatever aftermarket exhaust really opens up the car and makes it sound nasty and butch, just like this car. The turbo spooling. Still doesn't sound as good as the 355. So this is valves closed. Very muted, but you can hear the turbos. Now, valves open. Suddenly becomes a bit beefier, a bit throatier. Listen to this. The whole car just shakes. Everything moves, and that noise is immense. Right, so there we have it. Garage update of 12, 15 cars. Let me know in the comments which is your favorite one of the cars that I've shown. I've shown you quite a few different ones, some new stuff such as the 992 GT3 and older stuff as well. And that is the oldest car in my fleet, that 1985 registered Series 1 RS Turbo. Now, I've had a few of you DM and asked me if I can do a sort of rivalry drive, spec and so on, and a comparison of these two cars. So I'll get that shot at some point. Let me know in the comments which is the car you choose. Let me know in the comments, these two 1995 supercars, which one would you go for? Guys, appreciate all the love. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you're a subscriber. The next episode will be another RS 500 update. I'll see you again soon.